the slide for the certificate of completion, just to remind you that that is where gives you the units that are necessary for a student to earn a certificate of completion. So 8 in English, 4 in math, 4 in science, 4 in social studies, 2 in PE, 1 in health and wellness, and 10 in employability. And then you also have some leadway there with different electives credits. I think our next slide shows some questions that we often get asked and some good viewpoints to think about. So for certificate completion, a student needs to earn 40 combined credits or applied units. Remember that they can have both credits and applied units, so it doesn't have to be all or none. Also, that where can students earn these units or credits? They can be in a combination of gen ed and self-contained, or it could be all gen ed or all self-contained. Would hope that it is a combination, but you know, we are a continuum of services, and we do believe that it needs to be specific to that student.
Yeah, this is one I want to especially point out, because I have been places where I've had different people say to me that their understanding is if a student is earning an applied unit, it has to be in the gen ed setting, or their understanding is if a student is earning an applied unit, that has to be in the self-contained classroom. There is no have to for that piece of it. It really can be anywhere. So I think that's important to point out. There's no rule. There's no, you know, none of this highly qualified in a particular subject kind of. It's like there's none of that kind of thing going on. The setting is really
the key to that is just making sure that ahead of time, before the student starts in a gen ed class with earning an applied unit versus a credit, that the goals that are necessary for that student to earn a grade or earn a pass or fail are set up ahead of time between that gen ed teacher and the special education teacher. Also, that what is the alternative to COC? That would be a Core 40 diploma or certificate of attendance, which I would hope that students work hard, and we hope that the majority of our students that cannot master a Core 40 diploma can earn a COC.
There's only one scenario in which a student would not be able to earn a certificate of completion, and that is if they flat out sort of didn't come to school, not because of a medical reason, but because they chose not to come to school. There's enough flexibility within a COC and what it means to earn applied units in courses that modifications can be made, accommodations can be made for students to participate in, you know, those courses. So it's not a matter of they don't get to the X percentage of mastery, and so they don't earn the unit, and now they can't earn their certificate of completion. There's really no reason why a student wouldn't earn the certificate, again, unless they just chose not to attend school.
And the next question is one we often get asked many times. How many times can a student take a course to earn units? They can take it multiple times as long as there's a different and specific goals for each time. Say the student might want to take, like I said, in their freshman year, first semester biology in the self-contained classroom. The second semester, they're going to take it in an inclusive practice gen ed classroom with a different goal in mind. So, and they still will earn two credits for that. So you can take it multiple times as long as each time you're taking it is for a different goal. Whether students should be graded, a letter grade, really is a district decision, and that could be a letter grade with modifications, it should be indicated, or a pass or fail. And then last, our students, can students earn COC units for CTE courses? And we would say yes to that, but specific goals need to be identified ahead of time. So you just need to have that discussion and have you know, it documented what the student is going to be working for in that course. We've given you several resources that are available to look at and to help you continue with your planning for the development of and you know, a 4-year plan, a 6-year plan for students.
Okay, so we're almost right on time with those technical hiccups. So here are some next steps for you to think about if you're new to Project Success versus if you've had some experience with this before. If you're new to Project Success, your main goal right now is going to be to build that mindset of high expectations, both, sort of for yourself and then your teachers and even students and parents and all of that, right? That's really the foundation of how we're going to have students progress throughout this. And the key points there being the presumed competence and least dangerous assumption. We have other resources about that, other webinars, other presentations and things we've done that can provide more information in that area. Feel free to look on our website for that information, or if you want to reach out to us, we can point you in the right direction. And then if you've had some experience with us before, and you sort of get the whole idea of having the high expectations and all of that, the idea would be that you go down the path now of unpacking content connectors, and then that leads to incorporating those into lesson plans and curriculum mapping. Now, I wouldn't say that you have to have content connectors unpacked before you use a content connector in a lesson plan. So I think maybe that now, upon further reflection, that flowchart might be a little misleading. But the point,
it's using regularly.
Yeah,
it's using them regularly.
Absolutely. And so those would be sort of the next steps that we recommend for you. And again, we would be happy to support you in any and all of this in terms of pointing you towards some helpful resources and things like that.
So we've just created, we always want to have the next step and to be thinking about, being systematic. Like we talked about, what could you do next? So what will it look like for the information that you got from this summer's webinar to today's kind of refresher and adding some more knowledge? So we have created a template here that kind of just gives you some goal setting structure, just thinking about those guiding questions about how to develop your goal. But we would encourage you, we know if you put it down on paper and you set some milestones or some what resources you're going to need and who to help you with that and when it's going to occur, that really helps you create that plan for yourself and for your program and for your teachers.
And as promised, we have just a couple of announcements and then we will wrap up. So we have had 3 courses for paraprofessionals released already, and the next 3 in this series are getting ready to be released, I believe, at the beginning of February. But all of them, regardless, are at no cost to paraprofessionals in Indiana. And honestly, we have teachers and administrators as well who have registered to take these courses, or at least sort of audit them, I guess, or whatever. But they're at no cost, and it just gives an overview of special education all the way through these different topics to help provide some additional supports to paraprofessionals. And these are designed for any special education paraprofessional, not just those who work specifically with students with significant needs. So there's a link there on the PowerPoint, and you can also reach it on the main page of our website to be able to click on there and enroll in those courses. So we did sort of run out of time, I guess, for questions and comments.
I'm happy to have any, we'll stay on for a couple of minutes. So if you have any questions, either you can talk them out or you could put them in the chat box.
And then there is an evaluation. So while we're waiting to see if anyone has any questions to type in there, you can click on this link via the PowerPoint to leave your thoughts on how this webinar went, minus the technical difficulties. We would appreciate that. We really do take to heart any and all feedback that you're willing to give. And then the last slide on here is our contact information. So you'll be able to reach out to any of us for any specific questions that come up later. But I will go back to this. It should be on the website under, go ahead.
Go ahead, regional.
Yeah, so if you go on our website and click on the tab up in the upper right-hand corner for resources, and then in that middle section, there's a section for regional trainings, and there's a drop down. And so this will actually be in, I think right now it's probably listed under the Summer Regional 2019, because this is a follow-up to those trainings that we did. But we'll also get it posted in the webinar section of our resources as well, so that it will be in both places, whichever makes more sense to you. And you know what, and we can probably just attach it to the email that we send out with the recording of the webinar and all of that too. So either way, somehow we'll make sure that, that you have a copy of the PowerPoint. Any other question? All right, like Heidi said, we'll hang on here for a couple more minutes if anyone does have questions. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for spending an hour of your afternoon with us. We hope you found the time useful. If you have additional questions or concerns or topics that you would like us to delve into even deeper, please feel free to let us know. We really want to provide as much support to you as possible. And we'll hang out here for a couple more minutes.